We have been very assiduous in our planning schemes. And certainly it will translate into the uplifting of the economy that we all want to see in due time. Mr. Speaker, so we should not be in a hurry to pronounce judgment. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader has always referred to the fact that, and let me say that, let me first commend the minority leader for cooperating with me in many fields. But in this regard, that is extending the meeting by 1 week, he's always insistent that it cannot be done. Mr. Speaker, I am not in any way playing down what business we have transacted and the fact that it has some effect on our own physical constitution going forward. I know the Honorable Eric Opoku has complained to me that it is affecting performance in various areas. I will not further shed light on which areas. But Mr. Speaker, the majority today has often in the past accommodated the pleas of the minority today. I remember on an occasion we had to extend the sitting of Parliament by 3 weeks. We engaged, we dialogued, we agreed, given the exigencies of the times. So if today it has to be 1 week and the signal is that we are not going to do this and so on, Mr. Speaker, I'm saddened. That is not in any way to disagree with him that we are fatiguing. I appreciate the point. But Mr. Speaker, I believe 2 more days will not be too detrimental to our physical constitution. Mr. Speaker, that is a humble and a very sincere plea to the House. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is saying that we are failing the plan and that these things ought to have been done, and it's now that I'm bringing them. Mr. Speaker, I need not remind the minority leader and indeed the House that about 95% of the work that we do in this House is public business. That is from government. As a leader of government business, I'm charged with the responsibility of ensuring that government business gets conducted in the House. But that will certainly not be imposed. We need to build consensus. That is why I've always engaged my colleagues. Times when these things were mentioned to you at a pre-sitting meeting in the Speaker's office, nobody engaged you. I believe we should expand the frontiers of our conversation and really move the dialogue forward, which is why I've had the occasion on at least 3 different occasions to discuss these matters with the minority leader. The Speaker, I do not want to impose my will on the House or that of government on the House. And that is why I'm pleading that if we can go up to Wednesday, the 2 more days certainly would not overly disturb us, even though I see Dr. Komrade trying to whisper something to me. Mr. Speaker, so this is a humble plea. The issue about the statutory funds, I have referred to say, Mr. Speaker, given the new environment, that is the capping that we have done, certainly it will have to be factored into the allocations. As the minority leader himself alluded to, the minister will now have to apply the weight and come to some determination and bring same to this House before we're able to deal with it. That's why I'm saying to us that I'm not too sure whether I'll be able to do it on Monday. If they're able to do it, it will hurry our steps. The Speaker, is the reason why I said in presenting the statement that the House is expected to adjourn not later than Friday. If we're able to transact business to achieve our set targets by Wednesday or even by Tuesday, we shall rise. Mr. Speaker, The chief whip of the minority is saying that he knows I'll not kill him, but if he dies, I'll bury him. And but of course, that is in the lighter vein. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, you have a copy of the business statement. I do not intend to respond to sitting or meeting, but there is a sitting in a meeting. Mr. Speaker, if you look at page 1, you have Monday, Tuesday, and you have Wednesday. From Wednesday, it's all the business of Appointments Committee. There are matters which are germane to the management of the economy and governance. We can sort out those issues on or before Tuesday and add Wednesday as an additional day as a safeguard. You can watch it. So I'm reading from it. Then, Mr. Speaker, the majority leader must do what is appropriate to keep members' enthusiasm high, to want to work and work in a manner that reflects and energizes members willing to stay beyond what was agreed upon. And therefore, he must assign ways to that. He knows what to do, Mr. Speaker, so that members who hitherto have planned to leave today to their constituencies, they have to stay, so that management of those matters will be handled. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. So he's assured that we can cooperate till Wednesday fully. And therefore, he shouldn't be inciting any debate further. Watch your own business statements. The other 3 days, you have no major issue. You see, you can't respond to Appointments Committee. When we said be in a hurry, you were not in a hurry. And you want that to be an emergency on our part. Plan well. Thank you.
Yes, Speaker, I'll not respond. I'll not respond. Mr. Speaker, the major thing is what is programmed to be done Monday, Tuesday. I've already spoken to it. And I'm saying to us that it may not be possible to do those things on Monday and Tuesday. If they slip, then we could take them maybe Wednesday, Thursday. Mr. Speaker, that is what I've said. As for the other considerations that is introduced, and speaking in parables, Mr. Speaker, we shall bring a Joseph to interpret the parable that is alluding to.
The business statement as presented is hereby admitted. Honorable members, at the commencement of public business, item 5. Honorable Majority Leader, if you can read us on papers, reports that are really ready for us to make progress.
Speaker, the papers captured under item 5A, Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3.
5A.
5A, Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3. They are not ready. They are the issues that we have alluded to in the business statement. They'll be handled next week. Mr. Speaker, 5B has been appearing on the other paper over the past 4 days. Mr. Speaker, I think its appearance is rather inadvertent. It's inadvertent in the sense that, Mr. Speaker, the new Local Governance Act, Act 936, provides that the expenses incurred by the common fund, and I'm talking about section 132, the expenses incurred by the common funds, that is this Assembly's common funds, shall be a charge on the common fund as approved by Parliament. So we have migrated from the old position where we used to do that in Parliament. And now it's of the same order as is done for the administrators of the health insurance and gift fund. So it is not Parliament that is required to do that approval. The Speaker, that would mean that motion numbered as item 8 can also not be taken. Now, there's been a provision in the budget on page 173. The Speaker, is being taken care of by the Minister of Finance and is being harmonized and reconciled. It will not affect the ceiling of the appropriation, but that is being taken care of. And the Finance Committee and the Minister of Finance will come with appropriate explanation. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for that. Now, the Finance Committee will then lay 5C, Roman number 1.
Item number 8. Honorable Majority Leader, I want to be very clear on this. We are presenting the item numbered Honorable Majority Leader, we are having presented the item numbered
5CI.
5, B for boy or D for dog?
Mr. Speaker, the report of the Finance Committee on the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2017, that is 5C, Roman number 1.
Thank you. By Chairman of the Committee.
Report of the Finance Committee on the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2017.
The paper is presented and is for distribution. Is I ready? CII.
The Speaker, those ones, 5CII and 5CIII, are not ready yet. So we could go to item number 7. That is the first motion on the order paper.
Thank you. Item number 7. Motion. Honorable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, if I may plead that we allow the minister responsible for monitoring and evaluation to move the motion on behalf of the minister responsible for finance, who is in
Honorable Minister,
on his way coming to the House.
You may do so.
Mr. Speaker, before I move the motion, I want to make an amendment to the motion. The amendment is the following. The new figure is 38,517,821,802 Repeat, 38,517,821,802. Speaker, I beg to move that this honorable House approves the sum of 38,517,821,802 cedis for the services of other government obligations for the year ending 31st December 2017. I so move.
Chairman of the Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, and in doing so, I present the committee's report. I will ask that the Hansard department capture the report in its entirety as I present highlights. Mr. Speaker, the figure the Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation just mentioned has changed from what's on the order paper because on page 173 of the budget statement, an allocation was made to the District Assembly's Common Fund of 431,586 million Ghana cedis. And this was to go to the Office of the Administrator of the Common Fund, District Assembly's Common Fund. But following the change in the the amendment to the local governance law with the passage of the new one, their expenditure is captured under general government services, which would be charged half of the formula. Yeah. Their expenditure, just like the National Health Insurance Fund and the GET Fund, will be captured under the formula, which will be approved next week. So that's how come we have the change in you're talking about now. So, Speaker, highlights I relate to here would be that now the total amount of money that is going to other government obligations is 38,517,821,802 Ghana cedis. This has been allocated to be expended under other government obligations. Other government obligations is the allocation that does not go to any sector committee. So all that we approve in the sectors, different committees of the House that we have taken. But this is the others that stand alone and which does not go to any committee of Parliament. This is approved by the Finance Committee. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that for the 2017 financial year, the Ghana National Petroleum Company, GNPC, has been allocated an amount of 1.22 billion for their operations. Mr. Speaker, some members of the committee were of the opinion that the allocation to GNPC was excessive and should be reduced in order to channel the excess to other important government priorities. Mr. Speaker, having failed to achieve consensus on the matter, the committee put the matter to vote, and by a majority decision, the committee decided that the vote of 1.22 billion be made to remain unchanged. Mr. Speaker, the committee, having carefully examined the estimates of other government obligations, recommends that the House approves the amount of 38,517,821,802 Ghana cedis for the discharge of the listed other government obligations for the 2017 financial year. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to support the motion that was moved by the Minister responsible for M&E and seconded by my colleague, Chairman of the Finance Committee. Mr. Chairman, in doing so, let me remind this House that, the Speaker, last week Friday, this Honorable House approved an amount of 753,645,920 million for Ghana Revenue Authority retention. So, Speaker, in looking at the other government obligation, the total amount that has just been requested for approval includes this amount of 753,645,920. So, Speaker, I thought that the Minister would have first of all asked Parliament to rescind a decision on the GRA retention before moving this motion. Because, the Speaker, this is because this amount is part of the other government obligation, so it will amount to double counting. Mr. Speaker, I just want to draw attention to that one. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, you will notice that under the other government obligation, we have tax refund and VAT refund. Mr. Speaker, we were told at the committee that the line should have only been VAT refund and not tax refund also. Mr. Speaker, this means that the only amount available for the purposes of VAT refund and tax refund is for 1.35 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, this means that the amount is not even equivalent to what was actually spent in terms of VAT refund for last year. Mr. Speaker, I think that the minister responsible for finance should take note of this, because, Mr. Speaker, the ministry's policy, the Ministry of Finance policy now, is to encourage people who have been granted tax exemption in the past to pay upfront for the taxes, and going forward they can go and claim. Mr. Speaker, if you are to impose this sort of tax exemption, a new tax exemption regime, and you fail to provide adequately for the purposes of tax refund, it would defeat the very purpose or the very policy that you have set up. Mr. Speaker, it's for that reason that I think that this amount is way too much. In fact, way too little. Mr. Speaker, the amount of 1.35 billion cannot even be enough for VAT refund, remembering that the mining companies record huge input VAT, and therefore this amount of 1.35 billion may not even be sufficient for the mining companies. That is the reason